words you speak, whether aloud or in the silence of your mind, are not mere sounds or thoughts. They are creative forces shaping and molding the reality in which you live. Every phrase you utter, every affirmation you repeat is an instruction to the unseen forces of creation, a command issued to the subconscious mind that governs your existence. Most people speak carelessly, unaware that their words are the architects of their experience. They say, "I can never catch a break," and life responds accordingly. They declare, "Money is hard to come by," and their financial struggles persist. They affirm, "I always get sick this time of year," and illness comes right on schedule. Words are not passive expressions. They are decrees that establish the conditions of your world. To understand this truth is to awaken to a power that most ignore. Your reality is not shaped by circumstances, nor is it dictated by fate. It is formed by the constant repetitive speech that flows through your mind and out of your mouth. If you wish to change your life, you must first change the language you use to describe it. When I decided to win the lottery, I did not allow words of doubt or disbelief to take root in my consciousness. I did not say, "I hope I win," for hope implies uncertainty. I did not say, "I wish I could win," for wishing acknowledges lack. Instead, I spoke only what I desired as though it were already mine. I said, "I am a lottery winner. Wealth flows to me effortlessly. My numbers are drawn in perfect alignment." At first, these words felt unnatural. They contradicted what my senses reported. My bank account did not reflect wealth. My hands did not hold a winning ticket. And yet, I refused to be deceived by the illusion of the present moment. I continued to speak my wealth into existence, knowing that what I declared with conviction must eventually manifest. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between truth and falsehood. It only accepts what it is repeatedly told. If a man tells himself he is poor, he remains poor. If he tells himself he is wealthy, wealth must come. This is the law. The repetition of words impregnates the subconscious mind, which then sets unseen forces into motion, orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, and reshaping the world to match the spoken declaration. Every great transformation begins with a shift in language. The sick man who affirms health will find his body responding in ways science cannot explain. The lonely soul who declares love and companionship will see new relationships enter his life with effortless ease. The struggling entrepreneur who speaks abundance and success will find doors opening where there were once only walls. The moment one ceases to describe reality as it is and begins to define it as they wish it to be, the process of change is set into motion. The careless words spoken in frustration or doubt carry as much weight as the conscious affirmations of faith. One cannot speak of failure and expect success, nor can one dwell on lack and experience abundance. The tongue is a tool of creation, and the reality you live in is nothing more than the sum of the words you have spoken over time. Every event, every circumstance, and every outcome in life is the direct result of an assumption held in the mind. Assumption is not mere wishing or hoping. It is the act of accepting something as true, regardless of external evidence. The world you see is nothing more than a reflection of the assumptions you have persistently entertained. Change your assumptions, and your reality must shift to conform to them. Most people assume based on what they observe. They see lack and they assume lack will continue. They experience failure and they assume more failure will follow. They look at their present conditions and accept them as permanent, never realizing that their outer world is simply an echo of their inner state. But assumption does not work by looking at what is. It works by declaring what will be. It is the unseen force that turns possibilities into certainties, dreams into tangible experiences, and desires into lived realities. When I won the lottery multiple times, I did not wait for evidence before I believed. I did not look at my bank account and assume I was broke. I did not listen to statistics telling me the odds were against me. I assumed wealth was already mine. I assumed my numbers had been drawn. I walked, spoke, and felt as though my fortune had already been delivered. I did not allow logic to interfere with my knowing. My assumption overpowered the world of facts and shaped new facts to match what I held within. Assumption operates like a seed planted in the subconscious mind. The moment you fully accept something as true, even without proof, it begins to take form. The subconscious does not question whether something is real or imaginary. It only knows to create according to the assumption impressed upon it. If you assume yourself to be healthy despite illness, your body will reorganize itself to reflect that assumption. If you assume success despite present struggles, the necessary opportunities will unfold before you. If you assume love despite loneliness, relationships will be drawn to you like a magnet. It is not enough to merely say the words. You must feel the reality of your assumption. You must persist in it regardless of appearances. If doubt arises, dismiss it, for assumption does not require validation from the external world. The moment you accept a new reality internally, the external world is forced to rearrange itself to bring that reality into being. Every great achievement, every remarkable transformation has been preceded by an unshakable assumption. The inventor assumes his creation is possible before the world sees it. The artist assumes his masterpiece exists before he puts brush to canvas. The wealthy assume abundance before money reaches their hands. The moment assumption becomes firm, those who fail are those who assume failure. They assume limitations, struggle, and misfortune, and the world obliges. But those who dare to assume greatness, wealth, health, and success, even before any evidence appears, who find that assumption does not ask for permission from reality, it creates reality. To live in the end is to occupy the mental and emotional state of already having what you desire. It is to assume with absolute certainty that your wish has been fulfilled regardless of what your senses report. The secret to manifestation lies not in waiting, not in hoping, but in knowing that what you seek is already yours and acting from that conviction. The world cannot help but conform to the assumptions you consistently hold. For imagination precedes reality, and the unseen shapes the seen. Most people live from their current circumstances, reacting to the world as it is, rather than creating the world as they wish it to be. They believe in lack because their bank account reflects it. They believe in sickness because their body exhibits symptoms. They believe in struggle because their external conditions seem unchanging. But living in the end requires the opposite. It demands that you believe in what is unseen, that you accept the reality of your fulfilled desire before any physical evidence appears. You do not wait for proof. You become the proof by embodying the state of fulfillment now. When I won the lottery, I did not dwell in the state of wanting or wishing. I lived in the certainty of already being a winner. I walked as if my wealth was already secured, spoke as if my fortune was already mine, and felt the excitement of having my desires materialized. I did not entertain doubt, nor did I allow myself to question how it would happen. I simply occupied the state of already having won. The moment I accepted this as true within my mind, the world had no choice but to bring it into form. Living in the end means thinking from the reality you desire rather than thinking of it. Most people think of their desires as something distant, something separate from them. They say, one day I will be wealthy, or I hope to find love soon. But to think from the end is to assume you already possess that which you seek. It is not one day I will have it, but rather I already have it now. The mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. What you consistently impress upon it must become your experience. To successfully live in the end, you must make it your dwelling place. It is not enough to visit the state of fulfillment momentarily. You must remain there, unwavering, until the external world catches up. Doubt and fear are nothing but signs that you have stepped out of your desired state. The key is to persist, to refuse to accept anything other than the reality you have chosen within. Every great transformation begins with someone who dared to assume their dream was already fulfilled. The actor sees himself as the celebrated star before the world acknowledges him. The successful entrepreneur feels the joy of prosperity long before the business flourishes. The healed person walks in the conviction of health while their body still exhibits illness. The moment one fully surrenders to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the process of manifestation is set into motion, and reality must conform. Faith is the ability to see beyond what is apparent, to trust in the unseen, and to believe in the certainty of an outcome despite the absence of physical proof. It is the force that bends reality, the power that overrides circumstances, and the only requirement for manifesting what the logical mind deems impossible. Logic is bound by past experiences, external evidence, and perceived limitations. But faith transcends all of these. It does not ask how, It only knows that it is so. Most people live their lives governed by logic. They measure possibilities based on statistics, external conditions, and the opinions of others. They rely on what can be seen, touched, and proven before allowing themselves to believe in a desired outcome. But those who live by faith understand that reality is shaped not by logic, but by conviction. What you hold as true within your mind must externalize, for the world is nothing but a mirror reflecting the beliefs you persistently entertain. When I won the lottery, it was not logic that guided me, for logic would have told me that the odds were against me. Logic would have shown me the countless people who had played and lost. It would have reminded me of all the reasons why wealth should be difficult to attain. But I did not operate from logic. I operated from faith. I assumed my victory was already secured. I assumed my wealth as if it were already mine. I ignored appearances and refused to let reason dictate my reality. And because I knew beyond doubt, my world had no choice but to conform. Faith is not mere hope. Hope still acknowledges the possibility of failure, but faith knows. It does not waver, it does not question, and it does not seek validation from the external world. The moment you entertain doubt, you step back into logic, and logic will always show you reasons why your desire is unrealistic. Faith demands that you trust completely, that you remain unwavering in your conviction, even when circumstances appear unchanged. The greatest achievers throughout history did not rely on logic, they relied on faith. The inventors who brought forth revolutionary ideas did not wait for proof that their vision could be realized. They simply knew it was possible and acted accordingly. The individuals who have risen from poverty to wealth, from sickness to health, from obscurity to greatness, all had one thing in common: an unshakable faith in the reality of their desire, despite what logic dictated. Faith is the only bridge between the unseen and the seen, the imagined and the realized. It requires you to abandon the need for proof, to dismiss the doubts whispered by logic, and to stand firm in the knowing that what you desire is already yours. Those who master faith master reality, for the world must bow to the convictions of the mind that refuses to accept anything less than the fulfillment of its vision. Persistence is the force that transforms desires into realities. It is the unwavering commitment to a vision, the refusal to accept anything less than its fulfillment, and the discipline to maintain an assumption despite opposing circumstances. The world responds not to fleeting wishes or momentary affirmations, but to the deep, continuous conviction of a mind that refuses to waver. Those who persist in their assumptions will inevitably see their desires externalized, for reality must conform to that which is held with absolute certainty. Most people fail to manifest their desires, not because they lack the ability, but because they lack persistence. They affirm their wishes for a short while, but when no immediate evidence appears, they abandon their belief. They let doubt creep in, allowing logic and past experiences to dictate their expectations. They look at the world, see no change, and conclude that their efforts were in vain. But manifestation does not occur through occasional belief. It is the result of sustained mental discipline, the continuous occupation of the desired state until the physical world aligns. When I won the lottery multiple times, it was not by speaking affirmations once or twice and hoping for the best. It was through relentless persistence in the assumption of already having won. Every day I live in the end result. I spoke only from the perspective of victory. I refused to entertain doubts. Even when my external circumstances showed no sign of change, I remained firm in my conviction, knowing that my persistence would inevitably harden into fact. The world had no choice but to rearrange itself in alignment with my unwavering assumption. Persistence is not a matter of willpower or effort. It is the natural state of one who truly believes. The person who knows they are wealthy does not need reminders to believe it. They simply exist in that knowing. The one who is certain of their success does not battle with doubt, for their assumption has become their reality long before it manifests in the physical world. To persist is not to struggle, but to remain unshaken in the face of all appearances. The mind is constantly being shaped by repeated thoughts. If one allows their assumptions to waver, their reality will reflect that instability. But if one holds to a single assumption with consistency, refusing to be moved by temporary setbacks, that assumption must solidify into form. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It only responds to what is consistently impressed upon it. The longer an assumption is held, the more inevitable its manifestation becomes. Every success story is a testament to persistence. The inventor who refuses to accept failure, the artist who continues despite rejection, the entrepreneur who holds to their vision through setbacks, all achieve their goals not because of external luck, but because they persist in their belief. The same law applies to all areas of life. Wealth, health, love, and success are all drawn to those who persistently assume them to be theirs. The silent conversations you have within your own mind are the architects of your reality. Every thought, every whispered word, and every internal dialogue you entertain shapes the world around you. Your fate is not determined by external forces, chance, or luck. It is created by the continuous speech that flows within you. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes the foundation upon which your life is built. Most people are unaware of the power of their inner speech. They go through life unconsciously affirming limitations, struggle, and failure, never realizing that their words are creative forces molding their experiences. They say to themselves, "Nothing ever works out for me," and life reflects that back to them. They declare, "I always get sick around this time of year," and illness appears right on schedule. They whisper, "Money is hard to come by," and financial difficulties persist. Every statement, whether spoken aloud or in the silence of the mind, is an order given to the subconscious, which then shapes reality accordingly. When I won the lottery multiple times, it was not by accident. It was by deliberately controlling my inner speech. I never allowed words of doubt or limitation to take root in my consciousness. I did not think, "I hope I win," for hope implies uncertainty. I did not say, "The odds are against me," for that would have solidified failure. Instead, I repeated within myself, "I am a lottery winner. Wealth is mine. My numbers are drawn in perfect alignment." These words were not idle thoughts. They were commands, spoken with conviction until they became the dominant truth in my mind. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between true or false, real or imagined. It only accepts what it is repeatedly told. If you constantly tell yourself you are unlucky, your life will arrange itself to confirm that belief. If you declare yourself successful, even before success has appeared, the world will move in ways you cannot yet see to bring that truth into existence. Your inner speech is the blueprint of your destiny, the script that reality must follow. Most people try to change their lives by altering external circumstances, but true transformation begins within. The person who wants wealth must first speak as though they are already wealthy. The individual seeking love must first speak to themselves as someone who is already loved. The one desiring health must first speak as though their body is already strong and whole. The inner speech must match the desired outcome before the external world can conform to it. To master your fate, you must master your inner dialogue. Observe the words you silently repeat throughout the day, for they are the seeds of your future. Change the words, and you change the reality that follows. The mind, when disciplined, becomes the most powerful tool of creation. When inner speech is aligned with the vision of your desired life, nothing can prevent its realization. Your reality is a direct reflection of your thoughts, assumptions, and inner speech. What you persistently believe, affirm, and assume with conviction must externalize into your life. Faith overrides logic. Persistence shapes outcomes. And living in the end ensures manifestation. Words are not empty expressions. They are creative forces that dictate fate. To change your world, you must first change your internal dialogue. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, persist unwaveringly, and let faith guide you beyond limitations. Master your mind, control your assumptions, and reality will mold itself to match the vision you hold within.